Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to share a quick flip through of the months of October and September in my Hobonichi Cousin 2023. This is the English version and this planner includes everything except for work, so let us begin. Now I will try to help you out as much as possible, but in case I do not explain anything, feel free to ask. I understand this is a time where all of you are busy prepping for next year's planner, and hopefully this flip through will give you an idea of how I use my planner. So this spread is where I track my income. I have been largely consistent with it. In fact, completely consistent with it, I would say. I have used it for all the months. June, I did not receive any, that is why it is empty. So here is September and October. What I do is I highlight in green the date that I received the income on, and at the bottom I write down the source of the income and of course the amount that I received, simply because I'm not really consistent with it. Now, this is not a spread that I come to on a daily basis, so it is just like once a month when I receive it, and that's about it, once or twice a month. I have, however, kept this bookmark over here simply because I'm using the cover and I happen to have it. That's about it. Then we come to the next spread, which is, of course, the index. This is an index for the daily pages, that is where I journal or memory keep, to be specific. I do not really write about my feelings over there. It's more about a quick recap of the whole day. Not the whole day, just the major, if any major events have happened that day. So I don't do go through the entire day. Maybe something that I will consider for the future, but not as of now. So this is September and October in it. I know it looks a little packed here in September and October, but just to be clear, it is not that I have wrote a lot in those months. Sometimes it could be just one paragraph and that's about it. But if I feel it is relevant enough to come over here and I would like to refer to it later, I write it down in the index. Again, another spread that I visit only once a month, to be clear, at the end of the month. So I have actually just completed the index at the end of October for the month of October, and that is how I do it. It just takes about a minute. So this bookmark is just kept there since I have the cover, and that's about it. Then we come to the monthly spreads. Monthlies are visited by me, I would say, maybe a few times a month, but again, not on a daily basis. But this is something that is a very important spread for me. This is September now, yes. Because it is like an overview of the month for me, where I get to see all the major events of the month. I can see what has happened, maybe something that got cancelled. Every important event or happening of that month, you will get to see over here. So it makes it a little easier for me to envision the month and what happened in that month. Then we go into the to-do list. To-do list, as far as September and October is concerned, as we went into October, I used it less and less, I think. There are several reasons for it. You will get to see that. So my weekly spread is divided into three categories or three sections. So we have me time, where I write what I'm reading or watching. So basically, it is something that I enjoy doing. To do is clearly the task list for the day. And finally, we have events. And then, of course, we have my habit tracking system. And that's about it. So again, this I would not say is perfectly used, but at least September was fine. But then as we went into October, you can see it's largely empty. The reason is simple. The book that I was supposed to read for October, I could not find it. Then I just did not bother looking into any other books. And here I was sick for more than a week, in fact, okay, not just a week. That is why it's largely empty over here also. Then I tried to get back to it slowly, as you can see here and there. Then, yes, towards the last week of October, yes, I would say more or less, largely I'm back to it. Of course, I didn't start reading on new books. As I told you, the book could not be found and I left it at that. Then we come to the dailies. Now, as far as the dailies are concerned, it usually starts with a dashboard page, which I just decorate for fun, or I write quotes that I've read somewhere, something fun that I've seen, and I just transfer it over here. That's about it. So the first 7 pages of every month, I divide it into, sections, so that I can write about YouTube, Instagram, skincare, hair care, household and stationery, and then we have makeup. So as you can see, it is not that I actually always write it. It is sort of a wish list for me. Okay, sometimes it is empty, sometimes it is filled up. I may or may not by the things that I've actually written down there. In this case, I've actually got all of them, but sometimes I put a cross or I forward it to the next month if I still feel the need for it. But it is sort of a wish list sort of system, I would say, for every month. It depends whether I buy them or not. Then, as far as journaling is concerned, what I do is, as you can see, a lot of it is blank. But then when I write, I see to that I kind of, write in bigger letters, whatever is the main topic of what I've written, so that it becomes a little easier for me to understand what I wrote about. Because sometimes I write a lot, then it gets a little difficult for me to understand what I've written about at a quick glance. So when I've actually written it, in capitals, it makes, larger letters, it makes it a little more easier for me to understand what I've journaled over there. So September, I would say, is like an okay situation. I have written a lot, okay, as far as memory keeping is concerned. But when we go to October, you will see that not really, okay. As far as October is concerned, I've not really been consistent with memory keeping, as I told you earlier in the weekly section. Initially, it was fine, but then later on, I ended up sick for several days, okay, more than a week for that matter. And I just could not even, I was not even in a state of mind where once I came back, I went and journaled about the past days. I do it that sometimes. I just journal about the earlier days, okay. But then this time I could not even do that, so I've just left it blank for most of it, as you can see over here. So this is the end of October. Now let's go to the back pages. As far as the back pages are concerned, most importantly, I have this section, which is the books to read section. As you can see, for September, I had read two books. And for October, I have not updated it. This is the book that I could not find. If you have any suggestions on where I could find books, it would be really good. I'm not planning to buy them because I don't really have any space at home where I can store books. Okay, I do have an Audible subscription, Kindle, okay, but I could not find the book over there. Maybe it's there now. I do not know whether I looked properly. I prefer Audible at times because I like to listen and do other work, okay. Uh, but other times I like to read because I feel when we listen, we don't really pay careful attention to the book. So I kind of like to do both depending on my situation at that point of time. Nevertheless, I've not updated this, I've not got the book, and I've not updated over here. This year has not been great as far as reading is concerned. I know that it's very obvious. But I'm not really disappointed in myself because it was an extremely hectic year for me. Nevertheless, that was the end of the flip through. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye, guys.